यज्ञस्य देवं रत्विजम्.
Welcome all to our very special show today. We have Dr. Ashwani Asthana, who has worked with ASI for many years, decades, and he has a PhD in history and archaeology from the uh, Kauman University. He was in University National Grand Commission for archaeology. I mean, he has a long resume, which you know, which is very impressive. And what we'll do is we'll give him a couple of minutes to introduce his background. And then without delay, we'll go ahead with the presentation. So Dr. Ashwani, if you want to spend a couple of minutes on your background, and then we can dive into the presentation.
Well, have a nice day today, and I welcome all the participants or the viewers who are with us now. To start with, I must say that this is the day today is only because of young Devan and my friend Bharat Joshi ji, who is running an institution NGO known as Archaeology Century 21, with the motto that to promote, propagate, and popularize Sanatan way of living, and so that our heritage should be known to everybody. To start with, I am a small man who has devoted my 35 to 45 years to just to know who the Harappans were, because when I was excavating various Harappan sites, there was a question in my mind on seeing those fascinated discoveries and other things. Always was a question who people they were. I asked my teachers, R.S. Dr. S.P. Gupta, Professor V.N. Mishra, Jagatpati Joshi ji, and all. Asthana, why don't you try yourself? Try to know who these Harappans were. And since then, what I am going to present now is at the disposal my work of 35 years, in which I have collaborated Harappan material so the archaeology is concerned, geology, hydrology, literature, and all things. I have tried to brought everything under one roof just to examine and analyze who people they were. So let's start with there is a symbol we can see of the swastika, and this is a tradition. And this is the Harappan one. On the other side is the modern one, and this symbol means Su means the good, and Asti means to exist. If we translate, it is all is well. And if it is, this is in a clockwise direction. If it is anti-clockwise direction, it presents the involution of the universe. When it is in a positive direction, it is the evolution of the universe. So let's start with a question: who these people were. Now we have. My work is based upon the Indus or the Harappan civilization, representing the first organization in the Southeast Asia, because there was a river known as Saraswati, and also Indus, and there were many other rivers also. We have some shlokas which we will be seeing in the later stage in these slides, who talks about various type of movement of these rivers and shifting and other things. So first of all, let's see, the recent excavation has shown that the number of the site of this civilization, which is on this tributary, is greater than those on the Indus. I mean, the concentration of the site on the Saraswati system is more than that of the Indus, means because the Saraswati system was more popular than the Indus system. Why? Because with the beginning of the Holocene period, a lot of fuel deposit came and settled on the grounds, and these 5 rivers, they brought such a nice type of soil which was very good for the agriculture purpose, and people started settling in this region. Somewhere around 10,000 BC, 8,000 BC, where we have evidence from the site very recently known as Vidana also, which goes there to the date goes back to 8th millennium BC. And it is a common knowledge that the Saraswati river, along with its tributaries such as Drishavati and many other, they were having they have a prestige during the Vedic time also, and many hymns were composed on the bank singing their praises. So what to say that people in literature, they write about those rivers and all the things. Besides that, what we see on the ground reality is the archaeological Harappan sites. And I must tell you, both are the earliest, as for the literature is concerned, that is the earliest literature. As for the archaeological settlements are concerned, that is the earliest settlement or the civilization. So, why don't we come across, make them brought together and try to analyze it?
Sir, a couple of things. One is your mic has a little bit of noise. I don't know if there is something.
Okay. Let me sit a little back.
Second
Therefore,
is you see the icon that says play from beginning on the top left under your file menu. If you click on that, I think the presentation will fill the whole screen. Top left, all the way to the top left of the screen. Like your cursor is at the bottom right, move it all the way to the top left. Top left of the screen. No, not the. So you don't see the. You don't see the menu and everything in your screen. The presentation is full, is it?
I can't see. Just wait.
Yeah. You just move the cursor up. How? Okay, move it left. Left. Yeah, that one. Click on that one. No, not. Okay, current slide. Okay, that's fine. Okay, so it's not having any effect. Okay, that's fine. We have a technical thing there, but we will go ahead with it. Yeah.
Okay. Things are visible on the screen to the others, but let it be, keep it here somewhere, close, little away from me. Huh? So now the thing is that what is the geographical? Because the geography has played a vital role in understanding the civilization, and we see the extent of the Vedic civilization as well as the Harappan civilization, and the role of the Vedic Harappan civilization. Uh, and the relation between the Vedic and Harappan civilization, cause of dawn and evolution of the Vedic and Harappan civilization. These are some things which I have to trace the continuity and evolution of the culture heritage of the Rigvedic and the Harappan people. Now we have a glaciological and archaeological studies. Therefore, we have field studies, we have literature, Rigvedic and later Vedic period. We have geology and glaciology, that is Himalaya and Shivalik region, where this river used to come from. Archaeology, we have the region Haryana, Punjab, Rajasthan, Kutch, and some part of the western UP also. And in hydrological experiments, I did it at Jaisalmer with the team. Now, this is an old map which shows some dotted lines. Is the shifting of these river channels along with the present one. Now, we have some early basins from 3 million years back, which is known as one the Ganga basin and another was the Yamuna basin. So, and now this was the early area where the glaciers were there, and this is the oldest fourth order basin. Later on, they shifted and became little reduced to some extent, and now this is the present state of their perennial water resource. Then what happened after that? After that, these rivers these rivers started, and these are the glacial areas, and the river Yamuna was there already on the Himalayan region, but not on the plain. And slowly, at Netwar, it got melted and come into the ground through the channel known as Adi Badri area, followed by various other zones. This is the Landsat imagery photograph. This is the Landsat imagery photograph showing that how it would have been in the past, and these all rivers from one or the other used to come and join together to form the river Saraswati at Adivadi only. Then next, earlier this was the detachment, as we can see here, was not actually detached. It is a later formation due to the graben formation. The land got tilted because the earth is our peninsula, Indian peninsula is moving 2 centimeter to 1 centimeter per annum towards the Russian plate. So because of that, this part of the Shivalik got detached, and now this is a present scenario, a recent photograph, and it was filled by various rivers known as Stones, Yamuna, Algar, Bhata, and other things. So, and later on, it was known as the lake there, which we call as a Pontatoon Lake. Or in Rigved, we talk about it, is known as the Saraswati Lake also, and the extra water is to overflow from this side. And this was a scenario of the fossil valley which we found there. And these are the terraces formations there, where from we got upper Paleolithic, lower Paleolithic objects, tools, and other things, so on. Now, with the time has moved on, because of graben formation, the river Saraswati, which used to flowing in this direction, came slowly downward, and it started moving left side. And this Satluj was the sister river of Saraswati, and they were meeting together at the place known as Shatran. Then comes this course of Vedic Saraswati. Now, this is the Tons river, and this is the Saraswati river, and on the bank of this, so many early Harappan sites emerged one by one. Then this was the graben formation, and still it is active, which dislodged the Shivalik, and that the lake, water filled with the lake of the lake started coming out from that opening on the ground somewhere in 1900 BC to 2000 BC. As a result, the Yamuna came on ground plains somewhere in 1900 BC. That is why we don't get any archaeological site on the Yamuna river prior to 1900 BC. These are the type of graben formations. Sometimes the land gets lifted, sometimes land gets defaulted down block on below the present level, and this deformity makes the river to shift this side or that side. And it is that what had happened during about, though it started somewhere in the 2500 BC itself, but the total resident was found somewhere around 2000 and 1900 BC. Now, the river started shifting, especially the Saraswati toward the right side and Satluj toward the west side. And that is why during this process, people along with the river system migrated, and as a result, the more late Harappan sites was found in the Punjab region and the upper world, and so on. So we have this map which shows that the green one, the late Harappan group of sites, the red one is the early Harappan group of sites, and the yellow one is the sites which are having the foundation from the Harappan and elsewhere. But it is important to know that there is no site in this river system which has a continuity of the early Harappan, early Harappan period and the late Harappan period, because of this tectonic movement during the Harappan period, people started migrating to this from this region towards the shifting of the river system. Some went towards the uh, Harappa or the Ravi system, and on the right side, some went to the eastern side, along with the shifting of the Saraswati River, or what we call today the Yamuna system. And this Saraswati River, this Satluj got mixed with, confluenced with the Indus, Bias, and then followed by the Indus, and it created the havoc because of the extra quantum of water in the Harappan area, where we have the evidence at Mohenjo-daro and other places there was flood activities, and even still the water table of that region is too high. Now, some tests were done when I was with the Hydrological Department of Rajasthan. We try to understand whether the Saraswati River is to flow from this region, because we have some archaeological sites here, but uh, it was a question that whether how it would have crossed this desert. So we have got this section of about 20 kilometers. We make a drills here, and we found this section, which is a purely a riverine section, showing that the water of river Saraswati used to flow from that. Even so much so, we have got the stones and boulders of the Himalayan geological formation in this region. Now, this is how the things shifted back. Satluj went to and joined with Saraswati, and the Saraswati turned back eastward, and today we carrying the water of Yamuna along with it, and we say that this Saraswati is now the present Yamuna carries the water of Saraswati along with it. That is why at Prayag we say, in Allahabad, in Prayag, we say that there are three rivers which are confluencing. One is Saraswati, one is Ganga, another is Yamuna. When people say only two are visible, then they say the Saraswati is looked. It's not visible, but it is there. Actually, the Yamuna is carrying the water of Saraswati, and that is why that Triveni has its importance. And this is the pattern how the slowly this Saraswati migrated towards east, and now today known as Yamuna. And this all had happened in 1900 BC and between 2000 BC. Now, this is the present scenario in which the water which was taken away by this river Saraswati from Adibadri, now it comes down from this area which is known as today's Yamuna on plain. Now, these are the things, and accordingly, when we see archaeologically also, the time frame, the things is shifting accordingly. Means what I mean to say is, it's so much synchronized that on one side, the Harappans were migrating along with the migration of these rivers, and so the second urbanization started. But there is this small gap between it. We will, if I have time, I will let you know. And these are the ancient maps, and these are the later maps. Now, what we infer and draw from these things is that we have some verses in the Rigveda, Nadi Sukti, and various hymns in Rigveda also. We have the order of these rivers, Ganga, Yamuna, Saraswati, Akshini, and other things. The shlok says that Imam Ganere, Yamuna, Saraswati, like we go like this, Oh Ganga, Yamuna, Saraswati, Saraswati, and because they are in order from right to left. So, and Saraswati is somewhere almost in the center of it, which is known as the most sacred one, and others are known as its sister, that is known as Satsindha. Then we have to examine geography of Rigveda on the basis of geography related within the hymns and Rigvedic rivers, evidence of river names, evidence of place names, seas, mountain, hill, desert, seasons, and other astronomical knowledge, ocean environment. We come across that most of these things is totally coinciding with each other. Each other means the Harappans and the Vedic people. And the area, geographical area, if we see a map has been prepared, that the red one is a Rigvedic zone they talk about, and the dotted one is the Harappan they talk about. So this is another thing. This is all is before 2000 BC. Then comes the geological and glacial studies in Himalayan region, which was conducted with by Dr. V.K. Puri, B.C. Mehta, and I was also one of the members there. We found that this mighty society of today was tributary of the Saraswati river system and many other rivers now. Some are no more now, and we have some upper Paleolithic, middle Paleolithic, and lower Paleolithic tools we have collected from 3 terraces there. In Mahabharata also, we have some references in the later Vedic period, which says that the water in one of the Vinashan has been mentioned as a place which says that the water in the river was left so much so that the fishes started dying. They are dying there. So this also attached the literature also talks about the happening in this region as for the time frame is concerned. So this is the basic map showing the changes and shifting of the drainage system of Saraswati river system during 2400 and this is another one which shows how this migrated now in the present situation. This river Saraswati is moving with Vyas, and this is present Ganga. Hardly some water comes in the rainy season and joins up to not more than up to Mala. So what is the proper? To have a proper correspondence between the material culture of Harappan civilization sites and the Rigvedic references, I have made a comparative chart showing some aspects of the Harappan civilization on one side and the reference of the Rigveda on the other side. So a picture should emerge exactly what is happening and what had happened. Agriculture, if we take the aspect of agriculture, from Banavali we have a terracotta plow, and in Rigved we known as that is I have given the references plow work, and there is another word in the Rigved which also Bhadra Kshetra means the land which has been plowed. We have evidence from Kalibanga. They also talk about the water management or for to conserve water by means of pulleys and tags. So we have evidence from Dholavira also. They were irrigation and their day-to-day work. They were consuming and making those type of structures. And we have royal granary from Harappa, like Udra. We have those references. We have Coop, we from Banavali, this was excavated. And then comes, as far as the fauna is concerned, we have deer, spotted deer, and in Rigved they also talk about the same thing. The story of cunning fox and crow was one of the old story. Was from Lothal we have those type of evidences on the in form of painting, narrative scenes are there. And then we have peacock also from various side, Harappan side. And the question is a horse. Very recently, when I was going through the paper of Yagna Devanji, I found that there was a reference of the horses also. But as for the archaeological aspect is concerned, we have in form of terracottas these type of horse faces, and models are there. But from Surkothara, we have the actual bones of horse, which we call it the equus as per the report of A.K. Sharma ji, who actually analyzed those bones. So there in the inscription as concerned, I had borrowed this from Yajna Devan's work, that there are some seals and sealings which says that horse was there. And the steady, the strong horse, they talk about ancestors, strengthening the delights of the processing horses. Like these type of things attest more, because the inscription, the Harappan inscription and the Vedic Sanskrit comes very so close, as if they are the two pockets of the same pen. What I mean to say, they are the two faces of the same coin, rather. And then we see the town planning is concerned. In Rigved, we talk about Amradham, Paramdham, Metravaran, and other type of areas. And from Dholavira, we have upper town, middle town, lower town, something very closely resembling the thing, as if they were knowing the day will come. And here some architectural features are there. What we say, brick on edge system. In Rigved, they talk about Krishna. If you put the brick straight, brick on edge. We have talked about the Dwar. These are some from Dholavira and Harappa, other places. And as far as the pillars are concerned, Upma is the word actually in Sanskrit. I have given the reference on the right side. And these are identically found from the site known as Dholavira. Then is the terracotta pipes, surmi, what we call, through which the water can be drawn or can be transported to some other place. We have those from Dholavira. This is the jam, means what we say, lanes, by lanes, and other things in the house complex in both Vedic culture also and in the Harappan culture also. Then comes the scales and measurements and weights. These are the scale known as Tejan. We have a perfect scale found from Harappan sites. These are the weights which has the proper denomination, and they also they are referenced in Shatak Brahman and other Rigvedic texts about various type of measures of the weights. I have mentioned those below. Then comes the pottery and food habits is concerned. We have various type of potteries in Harappan culture, and in the Rigvedic culture also we have varieties of descriptions of the type of vessels they were using, decorated incised vessel, carrying knife vessel, superpassing other to shine, polish type of vessels, pottery with broad bottoms, what we say is dish on stand, what we call in our language today, that is known as a Ucha Buddhan. One can sit and have the thing to eat just at his chest level. Then comes perforated jars. We have different type of jars and cups, ladders, and other type of things well mentioned in Rigved, what we see in the Harappan context. Then is another thing, navigation also. In navigation, Harappans were masters, we know that. And in Rigved also mentions about the sea yojis. And there was a god known as Ashwins. They used to pray those gods for the yojis of the seas, so that they should be blessed and there should not be any problem on their journeys. And we have type of ships and boats, navigation, propelled one oars also, or ship boats with the sails also. And we have evidence from Lothal also, some Harappa also, and even many other places. Then comes the uh, trade and trade routes, mode of transportation. It's very clear from various Harappan sites, as you can see, we and mentioned in the Vedic text also, bullock cart, sitting driver seat, and various type of other objects. And now that comes then the rituals. We have fire worship also. We have idol worship also. Both were in prevalence during the Harappan period, as it is today in practice. We have fine altars from Kalibanga, Banabali also, and we have this shivling also from Harappan sites, and what we have even today, and they have references in Rig Veda also. There are so many still to talk about Shiva and other things. Industries and professions. There are type of profession and industries there, well established, well mentioned. One can visualize it and can understand. There are knives, there were drill machines, there were chisels, there were needles even, jewelry, yarn, everything has been mentioned in a way. And why I don't understand people say it was an agricultural society, they were a very village culture. No, I don't feel like that. Anyway, these are the funerary practices. We have different type of burials practices during the Vedic period and also in the Harappan context. Then we have the writing system also in both the things, in Rigveda also and Harappan also. Then we have amusement also. Even these dices, chessboard were from Harappan side. We have met with from Harappan side also, and it is also mentioned in the text also. Now, it's continuity now I'm talking about. This is the Pashupati seal, generally people all know about it. Similar type of thing is available in the Pashupatinath temple in the Nepal, what I have taken from there. And another is the terracotta one from Harappan site, and this is the present one, still in continuation. And we have fire altars. Even today we go for this type of fire worship, what we know the Havan Yag. And these are the ceilings, which has swastik symbol, which is one of the pious symbols which I talked about in the beginning. Now, this is the two females from the Harappan context or from Ashoro side, which has the imparted hairs with a vernoleum on their partings, and a necklace also very typical they are wearing with the color on their hairs. And this is the tradition in actually generally in India, that a married woman always put this vernoleum in her hair partings. Then we have some foot ankles like things. From this is from Harappa and this is the modern one. We have tried to comparative study, still which is still in prevalence. Then we have comb. This is ivory comb from Harappan sites, and that is the modern one of the plastic one. And other, these are all the things. Even so much so, this is a small terracotta man boy sitting and with the folded hands, what we call namaste when we welcome a person, which is a tradition in Sanatan or Hindu Dharma. And these are the just various objects, and still people play. So these things gives us an idea. This is still the story of this cunning fox, pyasa kaua, and other things. That thirsty crow is still in prevalence even today. In the nursery classes, people teach this to the young ones. This is a writing pad, what we call in Urdu is takhti, and still in prevalence in Harappan period. And this is the kamandal which the old saints used to carry, and even today they are, but the material has changed a lot. And these are the symbols which are remain in continuation up to the modern period, as can be traced. The work is still in. I am doing some work on this thing. Will be at your disposal after its completion. So, on the basis of all these things, we can analyze that all the material culture items of the Harappan civilization are reflected in the realm of Vedic literature, except those which are perishable in nature or pertain to philosophy. Harappan civilization or the Vedic culture were river-based civilization on the same river which is known as Saraswati. In Vedic civilization, Saraswati was the lifeline of the civilization, as the Harappans has revealed by archaeology in the region of northwest and the western Punjab, Haryana, Rajasthan, and Kashmir. Based on the stratigraphy of the excavated Harappan sites and radiocarbon dates, The Saraswati river system shows that the sites were abundant during the Harappan level decline phase, what we call in archaeology, vis-a-vis decline of the Saraswati or the river system. Since the late Harappan phase is not evident in form of a continuity there on the river Saraswati system. This happened due to the disorientation of the river Saraswati system, as I have explained earlier. Then comes, if we see and compare, the Rigvedic civilization was the literal society and the writing system, and it is also evident in the Harappan civilization. Rigvedic people is equal to Harappan people. Both are the two faces of the same coin. They are no different people. Of our present heritage, the boon of the Rigvedic society, she is deeply inherited in our blood and soul. That is why in India, at least, when there is any function, academic function or something, we light a lamp and pray to the river Devi Saraswati, because she is a goddess of knowledge, she is a goddess of food, and she is a goddess of uh, various other aspects, even not only a river only. Thus, the heritage of Rigvedic Saraswati and Harappan civilization is prevailing in our Indian culture. So we are not the import of some other place, or we are not the migrants who has come. And that, to be very frank, there was no masquerade, there was no invasion, because the geology and geography talks about it. Harappans were very non-violent people, and if we see the genesis, I have given this chronology, which is the early period, early Vedic period, Rigvedic period, and the later Vedic period on the right side. On the left side, that is the formative stages, then the early Harappan, transitional phase, mature Harappan, late Harappan, and the final phase. Final phase means after this 700 to the 1400, after that, the things change and new type of, or we can say the beginning of the urbanization starts. Just to conclude, I must tell you one thing, that very recently two sites has been excavated, Sanoli and Sattapur. In after 1900 BC, we have found that people were fighting, because we have reference in the later Vedic period about the war of 10 kings and other things. And we have some archaeological material from the site of Sanoli, where different type of coffin have been found, and some chariots has also been found by Dr. Sanjay Manjul of Additional Director General Archaeological Survey of India now. And his work has shown that on the bank of River Yamuna near Delhi, people were doing something which known as something a work of war. And these are the wheels with copper implements stuck to it. And this is also one of the chariot. And if we see, and these are type of the copper figurines were there on the coffins of the dead ones. And these are the some tools, implements, and we have that type of similar type of thing from Damabad from Damabad also. But very interesting thing, I don't want to go in detail about it, but we have evidences, and this is all happened after just at the time of beginning of the formation of Mahajanpadas. We have these coins, punchmark coins, and these type of chariots found from this side. And another is also Sattapur side, from where the date is not contemporary to the Harappan, but the features of these copper implements are very similar yet to the Harappan one. And but the material has totally changed here, because, and then after this time it was switched over to the metal known as iron. And here I conclude, and I am very thankful to you for bearing me. And now over to Yajna Devu.
Okay, thank you, sir. I've removed your presentation, so you should be able to see yourself on the screen.
Yeah. Now, if any question, please.
All right, so we will go through some of the questions. The audience has given some questions, so I just want to start with some of them. One was that, hey, do you have any insight or information about the cemetery etch culture? Does
Oh,
it have Iranic elements? Is it local? What can you say about it?
like symmetry edgeware, basically in Harappa, uh, Harappa is a voluminous site of a high measurement as far as the area is concerned, and the deposit too. There was an area because when it started back in 21 by Rakhal Das Banerjee and other Monty Wheeler and Professor B.V. Lal, all were there. Actually, they designated the areas where they were excavating. Just we give the trench area, Pothra area like that. We give the name of it particularly localized. But as far as the cemetery edgeware is concerned, it is a very typical type of pottery, what we call as a late Harappan pottery. If we get in Punjab region also, we have found it from Sanghol also and many other Harappan sites, but late Harappan sites especially. The painting and the pattern of that pottery is totally different. It is red, if it is painted, it is red painted with a broad band on the neck part. And the, for example, goblet I am saying, which was one of the popular thing. But from that side, we don't get any, if we get seal, fortunately if we get seal, it will be either divide of motif, it will be only inscription will be there. Now, though classical material of the Harappan culture is no more present in that cemetery area. And that area, because of that was known as cemetery area, because we found some of the cemetery where people used to be buried. That nearby that area, people, we have some settlements after the Harappan period, some people migrated and settled there. That is why that is known as cemetery.
Okay, so if I want to rephrase it, essentially what you're saying is that Harappa cemetery etch is a continuation of Harappa. It's not an intrusive culture that has come from somewhere else. Is that right?
No, just like what we have in Indian context, we say because there is a place, there's a Bada. We have Bada culture also. Bada is a type of pottery which is exclusively painted. We have from Sanghol and nearby area, Ropar and other places, we get that type of pottery. So actually, these are the late phase of the Harappan, and they have the continuity.
Okay. So I think there's one site, is Rakigadi or Birana, that has continuous occupation from Hakra times, or like I don't know 6000 BC to modern times. So is that because that is the place where the rivers did not move? Because everywhere else, when the river moved, the people moved. Is that right?
No, now here is the question. Let me explain. First, I will take Bidana, then I will go for the artillery. Bidana is more earlier than Rakigadi. How?
Okay.
Because in Bidana we have subterranean houses, a circular pattern. People were living in a subterranean houses, and the date goes back to 7635 BC or 8 million BC. That is the earliest, which is almost contemporary to the Mehergarh in the that Bolan Pass area.
Right.
And whereas the Rakhi is concerned, I tell you one thing, why Rakhi has so many mounts, 8 mounts, 9 mounts, some say 11 mounts. Why it is so much spread? Because if you see that the river Saraswati once used to flow from the north of the present mount, that is where early settlements are there, and later on, after shifting, because that is the area where it is swing. That was if you swing a pendulum, it has a point where it is fixed at one place, and the river swing like that in the direction. Okay, so that was the point from where the things started changing. That is why the swinging has given the new area for allocation for people to live there and inhabit it. That's why it got expanded. And those are the earlier ones, the main what we generally call, where people are still using the same pattern as the Harappans used to live with, the same street pattern, everything. And
Sir, your audio is a little disturbed. Can you close all the other applications you're not using, like your Microsoft Present, PowerPoint, and everything else?
just hold it for a while. Okay, I have closed it.
Okay, now it's audio is better. Yes. Right. So, so you're saying Meghad was Mehrgarh much different from Biran or Rakhigarhi, or was it the same culture?
Rakhigarh, Bihara was a village culture. Not a village culture, it was in the beginning it was a village culture. Later it was a town.
Okay.
Whereas Rakhigarh is a cosmopolitan city. Just like Dholavira, Mohenjo-daro, Harappa, Kaliluga. There are medieval. There are the 5 big centers actually. Now, one thing, if you have asked a question, these Mohenjo-daro, Dholavira, Gareniwal, Kalibanga, Harappa, and Rakhigarh. If you plot on a map, you will find they are equal distance or sometimes double the distance. They are very nicely placed on the river system. And that is roughly Mughal has done a lot of work on this.
Okay.
Pakistan,
Okay. So some more audience questions. What was the earliest fortified settlement with brick houses? With brick houses. Which is the
in
earliest
India,
fortified settlement?
globally. Huh?
No,
As far as the construction is concerned, the material is used according to the environmental and other conditions of the region. Now, if we go on use phase, we get earliest is the Jericho Jama. They were having a 45 settlements. And in Indian context or in Harappan context, if we say fortification is just a defense, there can be of any type of fortification. It can be fencing, it can be ditch command. We have varieties of fortification, but not as fort is concerned. Fort is only available when the settlement is in large quantum. The number of people are there. That is why even in Mehergarh, we have fencing like fortification, but in Dholavira we have a broader fortification walls, 1 kilometer, almost like 1 kilometer. And in Mohenjo-daro too also, another number is the fortification is not only for defense, but to protect them from the floods and other things also, as evident from Mohenjo-daro and other sites.
Okay, so there's one more question. Is there any evidence of the memory of Mahabharata in any of the artifacts?
So please,
Evidence of Mahabharata memories.
From archaeological sites?
Yes, from Harappa sites.
Because Harappa is earlier Mahabharata state. Professor B.V. Lal has done a lot of work under the project Archaeology of Mahabharata and Archaeology of Saraswati. On the basis of the geographical names like Hastinapur and many other places and the river system associated with those geographical settlements, Hastinapur was excavated and many other sites from Virapur was also excavated in the Ramayana. So, but in Mahabharata is concerned, it is later because it talks about the Janpas, Mahabharata. So, when the Janpas were formed, Mahabharata, because they were marrying with Shaguni was from Kandahar, or Panchali was from Panchal region, or Gandhari was from Gandhar region. Now you can, and they were Kurus. Actually, Kurus were earlier Kuru was a small tribe. And they were living somewhere near river Ravi. I have references of that movement. That's the fight between the 10 kings, and what we are getting the evidence of and other things are evidence, and I'm working on it. I will let you know. But to my mind, that archaeologically we have no settlement, such we can say that this is of the Mahabharata period, because now the question is the inscription. In the later phase, we have is Balram is there. Early silver coin, square coins are of Balram 2nd century. But the thing is that actually, archaeologically speaking, still we have some type of pottery known as painted graver pottery, which, according to Professor B.B. Lal, is assigned to Mahabharata period. Do agree? And we see all the things. We have that type of thing. I was fortunate enough to excavated site in the Dholpur region known as Dondar Kheda. That was totally a single painted graver site. No other culture was there. Later on, from the locals, I learned that it is Drona ka Kheda, where Arjun used to come and learn arrow, archery, and other things. So no, we don't have so far. Only we have some evidences of the potteries, but not of any inscription which says that, or some building we can say they are of the Pandavas or Kauravas.
Right. There is one more question. What is the material of the roof they use for the houses?
Now, again, it all depends upon the geographical environment of that area. Suppose at Mohenjo they were having multi-story buildings.
Sir, can you move a little back? The audio is a little unclear.
In Mohenjo they were having double-story buildings.
Okay.
Even the well was up to the 2nd floor, from where they can take water, and the first floor will also take the water. They are having the windows in the well, the projected wells. And in Punjab region, here the things are sometimes summers are very hot. So here they are using mud bricks. In Kutch region, they were using both mud bricks as well as veneered with the stone. And on the top, we have some evidences from the floor levels that they were using the thatch roofs.
Okay. So, yeah,
Yes.
one more question. Was the Saraswati flowing during Harappan times?
Yeah, if the Saraswati would have not been there, how the concentration of the Harappan sites on the dry bed of the Saraswati?
Okay. So Saraswati stopped at what, like what year?
It doesn't stop. It not stop. It migrated towards the
Migrated
east.
and became Yamuna.
According to the culture, migrated towards the east.
Okay.
I've shown you the track was developed and everything.
Yes. There's a couple of questions about language that let me answer. The first one is what language they use, and the answer is Sanskrit. I have showed it in my dissertation paper. And there's something about shouldn't we find a longer inscription? We do have a longer inscription. And it's fine. We have deciphered it. It's not Proto Sanskrit. It's post-Vedic Sanskrit. Okay, so those are the questions that we had. Anything else you want to add?
Number one. But let me take one by one. Number one, as far as the language is concerned, the work of Yekademji and me also working on that. It is Sanskrit must be very closer to it. I feel that, and some results are coming very perfect. Needs more work and accordingly, and some inputs also. For that, still I feel shortly it's something like debated for common, but it needs more work to establish that it was Sanskrit. But now, as far as Sanskrit is concerned, we are getting good evidences, and it's coinciding with the fact and figure. So, to my mind, it was Sanskrit, but not any other language than Sanskrit.
Okay.
Script can be different. Script can be different. I can write Sanskrit in English, Roman also. I can write Sanskrit in Devanagari also. I can write Sanskrit in Tamil, Malayali script also. But language is different.
Okay.
Script can be anything.
Okay. So I think that's all the questions we have. If you have any closing, okay. So one more question is here. What are the first urban cultures to emerge in Indus Valley? I'm guessing he's asking whether Dholavira is the first or Harappa is the first.
I don't understand why we say Harappan is who is the first. Actually, it's not a something who came with the all material and started making a structures out there. It's a process of evolution. What we see, triple mount system, twin mount system. But first, the most important, who are the first settlers?
Yes.
Actually, it's an evolution. That's why RSBG has mentioned and had classified Dholavira into 7 stages. Means it's not that, suppose, for example, I am giving you, let me be a Harappan. Or if I am born, when I was born, my name was given as Ashwani. When I was young, my name was Ashwani. When was in the middle age, my name was Ashwani. But my age and time is changing, and my height and everything is changing in myself. And then when I attain old age, I still am Ashwani. When I will die, people say Ashwani is dead. So actually, assembly is a culture, Early Harappan, mature Harappan, late Harappan, this is it. It's a evolution of a particular culture. And if we see, earliest, if you say, to my mind, so far as the date is concerned, Vedana, I will like to quote, is the earliest one, so far as the date of the lower level is concerned, in Indian context.
Okay. Yeah. So I think I also have made I have made a video about how the Indian culture today is a continuation of the Harappan culture from very ancient times, using all the symbols. One of the symbols that I found very interesting was the black buck symbol. There are seals with 2 black bucks that occur from 4000 BC Kunal, and even before that, during Neolithic times, they have the black buck. And then you have it in Remanderi and Lothal and a bunch of other places. So do we observe anything other than the seals? Do we observe the black buck symbolism in the archaeology?
Yeah, actually, I have not especially gone for the black bucks or something. But most interesting thing what I have seen during my period of working in Harappan sites, I was given. Fortunately, I was given tasks. I started working on these things. But one thing is interesting. As far as everything in this world has its history. Without past, nothing is in present. I've seen, if with the seals and sealing you are talking about, there was a day when people thought of making seals and sealings. We have some evidences from Dholavira in early stages. Not that was not a Harappan, typical Harappan, but from the even early stages, people were having seals, but there was no inscription. And as Gordon Child has said, this is a cyclic theory. So earlier seals were divided of script. Mature phase we have motive and inscriptions, and later on we don't have either. We don't have motive seal. But from Dholavira, for the first time it was known that the inscriptions is not only confined up to seals and sealings or amulets or other places or on the potteries or this. For the first time we got the signboard also. The site which was executed RSPG, Dr. Y.S. Ravanji was there. And I joined on the next year to that. But for the first time, we have seen there was a signboard, and I, to my mind, and as deciphered that it's the entrance of the gem of gems place, or a gate to that leads to that. But to my mind, is still we have not tested it. That the material what they have inlaid on the board, which would have been on the main gate, it has some emitting powers. Powers like what I was saying in the night, it must be shining, That material is what the fluorescent. The word
Yeah,
is fluorescent.
it's made of gypsum, so it's fluorescent. It
Not only
absorbs
gypsum,
light during the day, and
it has other crystalline material also. The paste has been prepared. To my mind, no one has tested it and never has seen it in the night.
okay.
Any other question? But before close, if you say, may I say something
Yes.
before the end? In the end, first I want to pay thanks to all of you, especially you and Bhagirath Joshi ji of Archaeology Century 21. With his advice and his discussions, these things is possible only. And if given time in future, I am writing a book on echoes of sound and clay from Dholavira. So if sometime next when you find time, and by that time that PPT should be prepared in a better way, uh, I would like to present the glimpses of Harappan culture as seen at Dholavira.
Most definitely, sir. Yes.
And I'm thank you and thankful to you
Yes. Thank you,
because
sir.
my work is always at disposal of students and scholars.
Okay. Thank you, and thank you for joining the stream. We will, with this, we will end the stream today. Thanks for the audience.
Thank you.